Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar.
Today with us, we have Professor Dr. D.P. Sharma, who is author, orator, and whatnot. He's also a IT professor. He has many award and honoraries on his name. He is awarded with the Sardar Ratna and as a peace ambassador with the government of India and many other awards on his name. So, for my very first question, it's we all know we are not good in critical thinking. If I'll see myself, I'm not a good critical thinker. What's the reason behind that? If we see at our childhood, yes, from our school to our colleges, there is a special thing what we call as rectification. We are just running after marks. The whole session is about, oh yes, exam is coming, chalo theek hai, ab padhai start karte hain. And the whole practicals and everything, we all are aware about that. But why we are not doing anything about it? How we can resolve in higher education in present mode? And it's high time to resolve it.
First of all, I would like to express my, gratitude for the channel EduVoice for providing such opportunity to interact with you for a very novel cause. And since I belong to a very, baggy infested area in Chambal Ravines of Rajakheda Tehsil district, Dholpur, Rajasthan, and I never thought that I would be the part of such kind of a very great media. So I express my gratitude to your entire channel and your team. And that you asked me about the transformation and the challenges that we are facing today in the Corona age. Basically, this Corona is suddenly, appeared not only in India or it is across the world. But this has given a very great opportunity to all of us to rethink, re-diagnose, reanalyze our existing systems. Whether it is education delivery system, whether it is a educational, design system, teaching systems, and examination systems. And 10 years ago, around 10 years ago, I have gone through one of the program which was approximately emerging, that was EDX in United States of America, that the education will be at your door in future, isn't it? Means there will be a proper blending of technology and education delivery systems.
Right.
And now this time has come that we have to, transform, we have to redesign our systems towards the electronic platforms. So education can be delivered anytime, anywhere, over any platforms at your door. And in the current scenario, since India is also booming in terms of the bandwidth, in terms of the digitalization under the current regime,
Right.
I think such kind of the systems will be the new, paradigm shift in India for delivery of the education. So far, my observation is concerned.
So, sir, how, if I look upon college system or university system, what immediate actions can be taken to improvise the critical thinking?
Actually, as far as the critical thinking is concerned, let me start from this certain region that we start from the past. We are still using the old models. Our educational institutions are not still being aligned with the modern technological, globalized, localized, and globalized systems that we can, adopt, adapt, or use for, the next paradigm shift. And you see, earlier days we were having classroom teaching learning process.
Right.
And the classroom teaching learning process cannot be, removed completely, but we can start the system on which we can deliver our education, so that students, if in the position to, attend the class then and there, then it's okay. If he's not in the position to attend the class immediately, a video or the recorded, video would be provided to him, so he or she can attend the class, or according to his comfort. So in parallel to the professional domain, those people who cannot attend the class immediately, or some sort of issues are there with them, they can also attend the classes. And but the problem, the challenges that we are facing in India is one of the most important perception that I want to share with you here today. We and our educational the leaders, they think with the two tiers, two perception, two different perception. One is academic politicians, and second one is political academicians. Second, we can say research politicians or political researchers. We have to come out from those mindsets, and we should think and involve those people who are hardcore academicians, hardcore researchers, hardcore professionals, so that we can redesign, or we can start re-engineering our educational delivery systems. And in current systems, if we adopt such kind of the platform, many people are not technology savvy. Right. They feel, they are afraid, that something will go, in the wrong direction. But nothing will happen. Once you start, you can finish. So in this manner, we can, involve the different, people, professional people in this particular arena. That is industry people, academia people, research people, and sometimes society people as well, spiritual people as well, so that they can motivate the people for the new paradigm shift.
Right. So next major problem what our graduates are facing is that they are not industry ready. When they pass out with their degree, they don't have that skill set. If we talk about major of the companies, they have particular process of maybe 2 months, 3 months, or 6 months to train the students who have taken the degree and who have spent 4 years to learn things. Then why they need that training? Where we are lacking, and why they are not industry ready? How we can resolve this problem?
Well, I want to go into its root cause.
Okay.
The regulatory authorities like, I'm sorry to mention the name, UGC, AICT, NAC, and other organizations, they work with a different perception that is called, political perception. Right. Isn't it? Yes. And the most of the people who are sitting in the chairs, not all, of course, I have very great respect for many of the professionals, but they need to be hardcore professionals, isn't it? And they should be the change agent. They should be ethical. They should be focused on adaptation of the modern tools, technical things with high level of dynamisms. Look at, the developed countries. Their educational, regulatory or research regulatory authorities are led by the hardcore professionals. And they sometimes, comment over the government as well, because they are having the liberty. But as far as in India is concerned, we have started the education with the, with the business course, somewhere with business course, not from the novel course. So we have to, number one, we have to, eradicate, or we have to dilute such kind of the things. Let me share you one most important thing here with you. Once upon a time, I was in Jeju Island, Korea. Okay. I went there for a keynote speech in an international conference, and I saw their curriculums are designed by the hardcore professionals. I mean, just like painter is designing the curriculum for the painting. This haircutting salon expert is designing the curriculum for the haircutting salon. A musician is designing the solution. But here in India, we are designing this, curriculums in the air-conditioned rooms. Those people who are designing the curriculums, they, since last 10 years, 5 years, they are working in the administrative domain. They never enter into the core domain. Right. And thanks to the Windows facilities, copy-paste. Within 1 hour, curriculums are ready. Whether it will be, groundbreaking or not, nobody is bothered about this. So such kind of the things are required to be, diluted. And one of the most important, another challenge that we are facing is, after independence, India and its educational leaders didn't do anything for our ancient Indian scientific heritage. You know, in the world, we have 360-degree, isn't it? We 160-degree in front of us that we are watching. We are saying that this is developed, this is contributed, this is evolved by the Europeans, Western countries. But there is 180 degrees backside to us, behind us. We are not thinking that the core concepts that I will discuss with you later on, isn't it? Core things which, you know, in scientific innovations or the science or the research, one of the most important concept is postulate, avadharana. This is the basic foundation. And most of the theory and the philosophies in these postulates were, you know, are already written in our literature, ancient literatures, isn't it? But nobody is involving those things in re-engineering process of educational systems. What we are doing, we are teaching the old curriculums, isn't it? When the student come out from those those educational industries or educational institutions so far, then they enter into another, you know, a group of people or the institution that is coaching centers or training or finishing schools, isn't it? They are also not fully, we can say professionals. They are in between the industry trends and the academic trends, but they are giving good, solutions and trainings. Then they enter into the industry. Then they are just like we can say employable. But one of the most important thing, why not industry? Why not industry involved in the admission process?
Exactly.
So far, around 3 years ago, I developed one, model. It is 4-dimensional model. When the industry, involved in this process of, admission, they can evaluate the students then and there. Then they can sponsor the students. Then they can educate the student according to their curriculum, customized curriculums, according to the need of the industry. Then finally they can employ, so that everything will be finished. Such kind of the problems and middle tiers will be totally eliminated.
Right.
But nobody is thinking about this. And since educational institutions and industry both are complement to each other, so they have to come closer. There should be a strong bonding, strong association, and strong collaboration among them.
There's a big gap between industry and education. Industry, I think, with time they need to understand they somewhere need to get involved with the education, because yes, ultimately they are getting employees from the education.
We have to change our mindset, the educational mindset. Basically, because, again, I am telling you, and I am putting here, political academia and academic politics, or political academics or academic politics. We are involved in such kind of the, environment, but we are not trying to think, analyze, diagnose, synthesize, redesign our educational systems and their patterns, frameworks, and the industry trends, their patterns and frameworks. We are totally isolated. We are living in isolated islands, and they have to come closer. Government has to face it. Recently, in the last couple of years, last 2 to 3 years, I am watching in India that industries are coming closer. In Jaipur, we have one organization, this Maharshi Arvind Institute of Science and Management, and one Bhardwaj Foundation. They are doing very well. They are just trying to collaborate with industries, and trying to the industries are trying to come their doors to collaborate, and they are understanding the gap between industrial requirement and the setups, the curriculum standards of the educational systems and educational institutions. And also, one of the things that I want to share here with is organizations in the private sector, organization in the government sector. There are two different organizations. In government, organizations are totally working on the welfare basis, but they are lenient enough. Nobody is bothered about the quality, because they are permanent. They are permanently employed, whether professors or other academic staff. I'm sorry to say. But in private institutions, they are just like owners of the institutions. But there is a third tier that is called trusteeship tier. Mahatma Gandhi's rightly explained in his speeches that these institutions must be based on the trusteeship model rather than the ownership. isn't it? So where is the trusteeship environment in the country? We are not having. So we need to have a end-to-end cleaning process, end-to-end swachhata in these academic institutions, research institutions, regulatory authority institutions, isn't it? So that we can see some sort of, visible changes. So far, my observation is concerned.
So yes, let's hope industry will understand one day. I'm sure few industries are coming up because as they are already investing a major amount of money on training of those higher graduates. So yes, once they initially only focus upon their good upbringing during their degrees. So yes, I'm sure that will be quite much fruitful in that case. So as you recently mentioned about Vedas, so I want to connect and I want to ask something about Vedas only here. Do you, our Vedas are so enriched, they have a lot of things to be learned. Personally, if I'll talk about myself, I'm not, I don't have much knowledge about Vedic literature that we all should have. That's our culture. How we can incorporate that into present higher education or maybe in overall education of our country?
If you give me the time, let me tell you the philosophical things. Then I will come to the reality. Then I will explain what can be done in future. Remember, we are not permanent on this earth.
Right.
200 years ago, we were not here. And after 200 years, we will not be here. On an average, we live on this earth approximately 70 to 75 years. Means 25,555 days. And every day we take the breath of, approximately 23,080 times. And remember, every breath is taking us towards the graveyard. It's not important then how well we are preparing for our comfortable and fruitful life. It is important that how we are experiencing our life. According to Vedas, I will come to the Vedas. It's not important then how long we are living our life. It's important that how well we are experiencing our life.
Right.
If you look, we are our life, or we are, living between the 2 points, date of birth and date of death. Means our life is hanging between 2 points, date of death and date of birth. You go to any municipal corporation, you pay 500 or 600 rupees, you will get the certificate of date of birth. Sure. But nobody will be able to give you the certificate of date of birth. Date of death is permanent. Date of birth is finished. This is temporary. We are focusing more on temporary things, and we are focusing less on the permanent things. Look, and therefore our Vedas, our ancient literature, in the world, we have spiritual books in different regions. I will not tell you the names. We are having 1 or 2 holy books. Yes or no? We are having thousands of holy books.
Right.
Vedas are one of them, isn't it? Vedas are having lot of scientific and spiritual and philosophical knowledge, isn't it? They are ocean.
Right.
But do you think nobody thought about this? And you can understand why one of quotation that thousands of years ago, isn't it? Even you can say when the Vedas were developed at that time, the human generation was nomad in the entire world except this Bharati continent that is called Jambudvip. Yes or no?
Yes.
And in this particular concern, I want to say, I'm sure all the ancestors, those who Maharshis, saints, they were spiritual leaders, but actually they were scientists. Have you heard a word, Sant? Sant word was evolved, thousands of years ago. Sant, then saint, then scientist. Or we can say Sant, then Sadguru, then saint, then scientist. Scientist is the new word. When the entire world was, just like a nomad, we developed the astronomy, we developed the mathematics, we developed even you will not believe the architecture of the mathematics, is designed on the basis of Vedic mathematics. That is called Ekadikena Purved. In Vedic mathematics, there is no subtraction, there is no multiplication, there is no division, only addition. Similarly, computer science, in computer system, there is no only add operation. Subtraction operation by 1s 2s complement, multiplication, division, all are done by left shift or right shift, mechanisms. But who is going to, in the Google, the Wikipedia is not, giving the citation to us. Do you think? So Vedas are very much, important books. They are not only these holy books, because holy books are holy for the holy purposes. 1 or 2 or 3 books are enough. We have thousands of books. Thousands of years ago, we developed Earth is Bhugol. Bhugol. It's not Bhu tomato or Bhu, potato. It's Bhugol. It is already revealed. Kurma Avatara. It is written. We claim in our literature. Yesterday I was watching in literature online that the Galileo. We are quoting that Galileo developed this astronomy, and he told that the Earth is spherical. Europe is still till today having flat Earth society. They still believe that Earth is flat.
Right.
And the one person who was the Ferdinand Magellan, isn't it? He took the round of the Earth. He first, verified that yes, of course, this Earth is spherical. So this knowledge is already narrated in our literature, maybe Vedas, maybe other, different literatures so far. So we can say, just like one quotation is there, Ano Bhadra Krtavo Yantu Vishwatah. This is sloka in Rig Veda. Let novel thought come from all around the dimensions. We people, we Indian, we rishis, we munis, our literature, they just, discuss or spread our knowledge in all across the world, isn't it? But we never ask for the patent. European world, Western country, they develop small things and apply. Before they develop, apply for the patent. Who is great? Who is great? Our literature, the Vedas, are the great, literature which we need to study. But why we are not studying? What we are not focusing? Because we have a certain mindset. Okay. We think that Sanskrit is the language of the backward people. The people who never, who are not aware, who don't know the science and technology, isn't it? But modern sciences, artificial and other, mechanisms, they rightly proved that syntactical, semantic, and lexical analysis of the Sanskrit language is suitable for many computing languages, isn't it? Yes. And, there are around 49 civilizations all across the world. And the only civilization in the world which is survived is Hinduism, Sanatana, isn't it? So how great we are. How great we are. We should think about 180 degrees back, and we should, reanalyze, redesign, isn't it? Nowadays, COVID-19 has given the great opportunity, because modern science, modern medical science is having a lot of challenges, a lot of problems, lot of issues, lot of, toxins, isn't it? And how we can alleviate, how we can overcome such challenges with our ancient knowledge, that we need to think in this particular, direction.
Right. So exactly, if I'll ask you from today only, if we want to convince someone why they should implement Vedas in the education system, and how we can do that at our own personal level. I know changing curriculum and is altogether a different task. Policy making, politics, and many other things are involved in it. But yes, if this message is going all across India, so what's your message for all vice chancellor, all other stakeholders who can incorporate at their own level, not the policy level at least from now, but at their own level, how we can do that?
The university in Jaipur, where I studied, University of Rajasthan, there is one professor, isn't it? Professor Naveen Mathur. He started this thing when I wrote one article around 2-3 years ago. And I mentioned that more than 17 universities in the United States have already included the Bhagavad Gita in the management courses. and we are avoiding. Unfortunately, I want to tell you, this is because of inferiority complex we have in our mind.
Okay.
Because 800 years, compression, suppression, oppression, depression. I'm not telling which community and all, isn't it? Because of that, this is the resultant of that. And we have to come out from that. Otherwise, our civilization not only will be challenged, the contribution that we have, the glory that we have, the wonder that the wonder that was India, we will lose each and everything. And people say, let me tell you one thing. Ishwar ek hai. Yes, of course, Ishwar is only one. We say Ishwar is only one. Then people ask why we, worship many trees, animals, this, that, all sort of things, isn't it? People say, I tell you one most important thing. Ishwar ek hai. Ishwar, the God, is only one. And other religions say this entire universe is created by him. But we say Ishwar is only one. The God is only one. And every creation is the manifestation of the God.
Right.
Means uski niyati ka hi to parinam hai. Our vision is wider than it is created. It is the manifestation. So we should understand, those people who are the scientists, they don't know spirituality. They don't know Vedas. They don't know our Bhagavad Gita and other literatures. And those people who know this Bhagavad Gita, they are not scientists. So there should be a close convergence, close association, close unity, or close bonding of the two disciplined people. Once upon a time, I was in Vancouver, Canada for a keynote speech once again in 2013. And after finishing my keynote speech, I was in fasting state, isn't it? So I was not eating anything. People asked me, why don't you eat something, Professor? You are sitting here alone. You are drinking only the water. Then I told them I am in fasting state of Navratri. And what is this? So how long time you are having fasting? No, I don't eat anything for 9 days. This is my spiritual, some sort of commitment. They say, how you are getting the energy? Then I told them, I get the energy from the divine source of energy by the divine network. That is not wired. That is Wi-Fi, Li-Fi. So are we thinking? And then what kind of technology, what kind of, spirituality do you have? Then I do, this is called nano spirituality. Isn't it? Yeah. So the people who are having scientific temperament, the people who are having, social and spiritual temperament, they come closer. They should sit together.
Right.
Forget the opinion and all these religious differences. And then we should work according to the dharma. Dharma means duty plus responsibility plus privilege. Today, we are just focusing only on the privilege and rights. We are forgetting our duty. We are forgetting our responsibility.
Right.
Dharyati dharma, dharnata dharma. Means we should work according to the dharma. Otherwise, we will not be able to preserve or protect our, this spiritual heritage, scientific heritage that we contributed. Look, Hanumanji, Ganeshji, isn't it? The cloning technology, Wilmot Call of scientists, of European scientists, Wilmot Call. In 1999, he developed a sheep, 2 sheep. That is called dolly sheep by cloning process.
Right.
And he claimed that I have developed the clone of human being as well. This is already, this postulate he has taken from our, Vedas literature, Mahabharata, Gandhari Putra, isn't it? Because if you don't have thought cannot be transformed into a hypothesis. Or hypothesis cannot transform into a experimental setup. An experimental setup will not force you to collect the data. And after collecting the data, you will not be able to, analyze. So first thing is postulate, the concept. Concept, we are very rich in the concept. The only thing, the concept is available, but the experimental setup have finished today. We have to reinvent, rediscover, re-establish those experiments. Most important, I remember once upon a time I visited Geneva. There is a Large Hadron Collider experiment that is called CERN lab. CERN lab where, God particle is being evolved. Our, scientist, J.C. Bose, worked on this particular experiment. He developed the boson particle.
Right.
Afterwards, after a long time, now Higgs is doing the work on it, and he put the new name boson, Higgs boson. But I have argument with him, isn't it? It should be boson Higgs, because our scientists worked first. And you enter into the campus, you will feel very holy environment, because at the once you enter into the campus, you will find a Nataraj statue, big statue of the Nataraj. Yeah, this is gifted by India, isn't it? Our scientists in the embassy. And this scientific setup, that is experimental laboratory design, is exactly similar to the Nataraj. In Nataraj means when a Nataraj Tandav, Bhagwan Shiv do the Tandav Nritya. They similarly got particles. They do the Tandav. They take the they take the rounds. But who is focusing on that? Who is correlating the? Who is asking for the citation that our ancestors were the first contributor to this particular domain? So why don't you give the credit to us? We are losing the credit. Yeah. Fortunately, we have a very dynamic Prime Minister nowadays, Mr. Modi, who is trying to change the mindset of the people, and is doing with a very high speed.
Right.
Yeah, this is all that I wanted to say. Yeah.
So, with the Vedas, with our all culture, with our tradition, we also have Guru Shishya Parampara. So for a student, Guru is everything, everyone, and on the highest parody. So, but we all know that it's not in the current scenario. It doesn't apply in the current scenario. Teaching as career, people are not opting because yes, it's we have less paid salaries. Many other issues are there in our society also. Teacher is not getting that respect what they should get. So how we can resolve this? It's a real high issue we should work upon.
It's a very important and a very nice question. Normally, in my several other interviews, people ask this question to me. I start this thing from our, again, ancient parampara, religious, cultural heritage, religious and cultural heritage. Today, we want that teachers should come to our door for teaching. Bhagwan Ram and Bhagwan Krishna, they were from the big dynasty, isn't it?
Yes.
If Maharaja Dasrath wanted to invite the Vishwamitra, it was possible to come at the home, isn't it, to teach the Ram, Lakshmana and Bharat Shatrughan. But they went to the ashram of Muni. Similarly, Sandipani ashram, Krishna went. They were God. They were, declared God later on. Maybe at that time, some people, those who were having, great vision, they might be knowing this fact. In a United States, a person who is the president of United States want to become and feel glory, honor, if he gets the position of a professorship, isn't it, in any university after retirement. But in India, we celebrate the birthday of our honorable past, President, Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, because he was teacher, professor, then he became the president. The only president is Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who was the president. Then he became the professor in, Nalanda University, I think, in Bihar, recently established.
Yes.
So we have to set the goals, set the examples from the top level, not from the bottom level. I quote here one most important, issue. Once upon a time, German Chancellor, Angela Merkel, she was asked one question by the political leaders, these leaders of the military, academicians, engineers, and judges, military officers, to equalize, to increase their salary equivalent to the professors and the teachers. She listened carefully, everybody. Then she asked only one question at the end. And she asked, would you please tell me, anyone from you, tell me, how can I compare you people with those people who have taught you? Nobody was able to answer, and meeting was adjourned. You see, this is the status. The people who didn't have this kind of culture, they adopted our culture. The people who born and brought up with the culture, they abolished, they forgotten this culture. So we have to re-establish. We have to re-establish. Otherwise, it will be a great challenge for not only for India, but for the entire generation, isn't it? Look, the teachers, the professors should also focus, analyze their own role, responsibilities, their standards, ethics.
Right.
Yes or no?
Yes.
The brilliant, honest, ethical, teachers, academicians are today, even today, they are respected. But some people have lost, isn't it? Yeah. They are either political slaves for the positions, or they are having some other, benefits. So in order to understand this scenario, who were our ancient educationists? I'm asking the question and I'm giving the answer to you. I'm not, indicating any sort of particular community, because otherwise there will be a debate on it. But this community was having the high quality attribution, high quality ethics, high quality sacrifice, and high quality determination at that time towards the education delivery. But today, that community also has lost, isn't it? Because everything is changed with respect to the time. So we have to go back. Educationist fraternity needs to multilaterally review their weak points, their vulnerabilities, and stand up with the modernized educational models with the preservation of the cultural heritage.
Yeah. Very well said, sir. It's high time both we should look upon both the parameters as society and as teacher and as professor. We should work upon to enrich and to make this position more respectful in the society now.
Yeah, definitely. Normally in my speeches, I quote one of the most important things, that is the temporariness and permanentness. Lord Krishna, Bhagwan Krishna, in Gita, Bhagavad Gita, rightly said that everything is nashwar, destroyable. Everything will finish with respect. And after thousands of years, one, philosopher, or we can say scientist, or we can say some sort of learned person, Heraclitus Ephesus, re-narrated or re-quoted the same word. Nothing is permanent in this universe except change. Around 475 BC. Everything will change with respect to the time. Life change, systems will change. And the knowledge, the cultural heritage, the spiritual heritage, the scientific heritage we should re-engineer. We should redesign it. We should reanalyze it. And the COVID-19 age, this Ajat Satru of the modern age has given the opportunity to all of us to think about this particular, issue. And we should think that how we can redesign our educational systems, how we can redesign our, other academic, industrial, and integrated systems, so that they can come closer and can be beneficial for everybody.
Right. So how you see post-COVID era for education? What teaching methodology we should opt? What changes are going to happen after post-COVID?
Well, since the paradigm has already been, appeared, that we are shifting. Everybody is nowadays giving webinar, e-minar, teleminar, web conferencing, web workshop, web symposium, web convention, web congress, webs, summits. So everything is shifted. And the work culture, the educational delivery system, our even our attending the marriage parties, for example, suppose for example, I am going to attend your wedding ceremony and I am in I'm not in India. You're asking me, sir, this is the invitation, please join us. Then I send my that is called some gift money by Paytm. Okay, once you get, there is an automatic system. You will get my the automatic system is there, that is designed by one of the professional from your side. You are sending the invitation to all your friends. I will submit my greetings. I will submit my money, that is gift for you. Okay, according to the gift, if I paid you $5,000, if I paid you 500, accordingly you will send me a coupon of the hotels, world international hotels. So if I pay you $500, you will pay me $100 coupon. I will go and enjoy party. Yeah, party. And once there is a party, you are just going to have this wedding ceremony. And everybody, there will be a big screen. On the screen, there will be thousands of small screens. I am greeting you. I am dancing from my place. Every other your friends from different part of the world, they are dancing. So this will be a virtual ceremony. So what is wrong in it? What is wrong is this paradigm, this kind of paradigm shift will come, and definitely things will change with respect. And that's why we must be technology savvy. We should give the training to the people who do not want to use the technology.
Exactly.
Because there is a two types of determinism, technological determinism and sociological determinism. Political determinism, there are different type of determinism. Society should change the technology, changed a lot, but now technology is changing the society. Your grandfather may not want to have this mobile, but after being acquainted, talking to him, isn't it, on Facebook and calling you whenever he wants, or to talk you, isn't, once the mobile is spoiled, you will ask, oh, my daughter, where are you? My mobile is over. It's very difficult for me to survive. Please give me. We have to make the people technology, but not addicted. People should not be addicted. And therefore, government, educationists, isn't it, educational institutions, they should open. Definitely, there should not be end-to-end transformation. We can make one model, alternative educational system. For example, today I'm going to college because I will talk to you, I will talk to my friends, I will meet with them, and physically conversation, face-to-face conversation, yes or no?
Right.
And next day, I will do everything per mind. Again, I will do. So this will elevate several things, minimize several things. Fuel consumption, money, cost, isn't it? Pollution,
Yes.
Isn't it? Crowd, traffic jam. Lot of problems will automatically, at least 50% problems will be alleviated. So why don't we understand such kind of the paradigm shift, which will make our life very much changed life, or the life that we can think in our dreams.
Right. It's a very thoughtful imagination you have given to me, and it's a great model you have suggested for the post-COVID era of education. What do you think of EduVoice as an initiative?
Yeah, well, EduVoice can play a very, very important and catalytic role, not only in India, but all across the world. Just you can bring those people who are living all across the world to discuss, isn't it? To design, to support, to help, isn't it? And to motivate, people under one, come under one umbrella to establish end-to-end change, end-to-end re-engineering of the existing systems. And by the way, media in the world is a very powerful, system, and they are playing a very vital role. If you want to change the people's mindset positively, you can. And if you want to involve in some sort of negative things, want to spoil the minds of the people, you can. People are doing. Why you are asking me? If I will narrate, there will be a again another point of debate. But I'm very, very impressed with this initiative, and I find that this is really the need of the hour, and this is very important, novel mission started by you under your leadership, by your organization. I will congratulate you. I appreciate you, and I greet you. I express my, best wishes for the future as well.
Thank you so much, sir, for such kind words for Edu. We really need people like you to transform the Indian higher education. We know we can be something else, what we are not right now. So yes, it's just a small step what I have taken, and really want to gather the whole community of eminent stakeholders of education to give it reshape, transform the whole Indian education. So I'm
And
so
the next time, if you ask me, I can give you Upanishad. Means, thank you very much. God bless you all.